guys, it's Steph here from OnTheQT and welcome back to our YouTube channel. I have taken to the hot seat here in the OnTheQT office. I have a coffee in hand and today I'm going to chat to you all about San Francisco. So if you've been following us, you'll know that we recently did a few trips in the States. So one of them was we flew into Sacramento and we drove and did a big road trip through Napa Valley onto San Francisco. So we spent around 48 hours in San Francisco, and today I'm going to share with you my top tips and the things that I did in San Francisco that just took my breath away, and these were all done within 48 hours. I know there's loads of more that I can discover there and I am planning a trip back, but these were just the few things that I did in our short space of time there. So the first thing is, make sure when you're going to San Francisco to go over the Golden Gate Bridge at nighttime. The lights, the skyline, everything is just so beautiful. This was actually our introduction into San Francisco, was going over the Golden Gate Bridge and seeing the skyline, seeing the lights. Oh, it was just absolutely breathtaking. So I'd highly recommend that. The next thing that I would highly recommend is going to Lombard Street, which is the windiest street in the world. And what I loved about this, it is very touristy there, but we were driving around, but we actually got lost before we found the street. But what I loved is when I think of San Francisco, I think of these amazing houses on hills and beautiful views and everything. But all the streets around Lombard Street are full of beautiful houses, just absolutely breathtaking, and it's nearly worth getting lost around that area just to explore the houses and the neighborhoods. And kind of what I think of when when you see San Francisco in movies, this is what it is, and that's what I loved about it. But Lombard Street is also a great thing to go visit. It's kind of the windiest street in the world, and you can actually see the cars going down there. You can walk up and down it. It's really, really pretty and picturesque. So while you're in the area, be sure to look at Lombard Street as well. So my next tip was from actually a local. So while we were at Lombard Street and when we got lost around the houses there was a little boy selling his lemonade with his parents. And of course I went over and chatted away to him and chatted to the parents, and they were filling us in on different places that we should go, and they recommended us to go visit Hyde Street Pier. So of course we went down and checked it out. It's very quiet pier. It's not as touristy as like Fisherman's Wharf, which is really a really big tourist attraction, but it's really nice just to walk down. It's very quaint. It's kind of where the locals go, and it's really, really pretty. So it's part of the Maritime National Historic Park, so the pier is part of that, and there's loads of kind of historic ships there that you can go and see, and it's really just a lovely little walk. And it's nice to be away from kind of the touristy traps as well. So I love getting the local recommendations. So that was one of our local recommendations. For our next tip is to actually go and see Fisherman's Wharf, because if you're there, it's just worth seeing it just to get the vibe of it. So that's our next tip. So if you walk up from Hyde Street Pier, you will stumble across Fisherman's Wharf, and you'll notice straight away it's way more touristy. Loads of restaurants, tourist attractions and novelty things, and it is very nice to see. It's very colourful and it is very pretty, so I would recommend just walking up and seeing it as well. It's kind of an experience just to walk around and take in the atmosphere, and it is a lovely spot as well. But you can compare the two. You can compare Hyde Street Pier and Fisherman's Wharf, and there is one is a real local place and one is a real touristy place. So it's very interesting. So my next tip, and this is something we stumbled across while we were in Fisherman's Wharf, is to go rent a bike from Blazing Saddles and cycle over the Golden Gate Bridge. It is an experience and it's well worth doing. I suppose you can drive over it, but until you kind of cycle over it, cycling over it allows you to take in the city and the character of the city, and it's well worth doing. So I'd highly recommend that. So my next tip is to be sure to ride the cable car system in San Francisco. It's the oldest manually run cable car system in the world, so it's definitely worth checking it out. I felt when I was on it, it kind of gave me a real vibe for San Francisco and the character of the city, and I'd really highly recommend it. What we did though, we learned from our mistakes here. We went on it just after Fisherman's Wharf, very near kind of Fisherman's Wharf we got on, and this is kind of a tourist trap. We didn't think you could get on a little bit further along the track. We thought that you'd have to queue and get on it there, but if you just walk a little bit up the hill, there'll be another kind of stop there where the cable car stops, so you can actually get on along the way on different stops, so you don't have to spend hours in the queue just to get on. So really do walk up along and just hop on as you go in the next stop, and don't do what we did. So my next tip is to go and see the Golden Gate Bridge from the Sausalito side. So this is the side that we really saw it on, and there's great views. So when you see it on the Sausalito side, you actually see the whole skyline of San Francisco behind it, and you see the whole city, and it's just really spectacular. So be sure to cross over the bridge to see it from the Sausalito side as well. So my next tip is, while you are gone over the bridge to Sausalito, be sure to go into the charming town itself. It's a little village, a seaside village, and get dinner there. We ate in the Spinnaker there, and it was a local recommendation. It was beautiful on the waterfront, and you can see the whole of San Francisco ahead of you. The food was beautiful, and it gave you a different atmosphere from San Francisco. It was much more relaxed, kind of seaside vibe, and I really liked that. I really liked taking a step outside the city when you've been exploring the city for the full day, and just relaxing and unwinding. And there's ferries that go back over to San Francisco from Sausalito then. So even if you say cycled over, got your dinner, and you can get the ferry back with your bike, it's a good way to do it. So my next tip is to go to Nicasio, and this, we probably wouldn't have done this only that we had a local showing us around. So we went on the Lucas Valley Road. So this is where George Lucas from Star Wars has his Skywalker ranch, and this is amazing. Like, it's where his house and his workplace is. It's just, you can't see the house, you can't see anything. It's just so remote, but it's just unbelievable to see. As you drive down the road, it's just spectacular views, and it's just something really, really different. So I'd highly recommend going out and exploring a little bit off the beaten track. Of course we did that, and that would be my top things to do in San Francisco in 48 hours. So we fitted quite a lot in, and we had such an amazing time, and it is a city that I will be back to. I'm already planning my next trip back, and I'm really looking forward to it. So if you've been, please leave a comment below and fill us in on your favorite things. We're always looking for new places to go, and when we're going back, we'd love your recommendations. So leave a comment below and let us know your gems, the places you visited while you were there, and fill us in. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I would really love if you subscribed, and I'd love if you left a comment. It's kind of our fuel to keep us going here in the office. So thanks so much, and I will chat to you soon. Bye.